family. Nigeria is possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, once again, we are here to discuss the things that are happening in Nigeria, especially as we are getting breaking news coming out from Kano State, breaking news coming out from Abuja. Several ministers sacked, and Nigerians are reacting. They are asking questions of how does that benefit the ordinary man who is into economic hardship. With me to discuss all of this, I have Angel in the studio, and of course, we have several active Obedients and active Nigerians in Zoom to discuss with us. But let's start with Angel at the studio here.
Good day, my lovely and intelligent Obedient worldwide. Welcome. Tell your neighbor, say, hope day, but not in our leaders or in our politicians, but in God. Chief Bola Tinubu scraps Niger Delta Ministry and Ministry of Sports Affairs Development. Welcome on board. Let's discuss.
Yes, in the continuation of this discussion, before we hit the table rolling, let me first make some announcement as is our own P2B, His Excellency, in continuation of his interaction with Nigerians in diaspora and in keeping with his reviled determination to lead the search for a new Nigeria, has embarked on a 3-day city tour of the United States of America. A statement coming from the media reach said that the tour will begin on Thursday, tomorrow, the 24th, 25th, and 26th of October, 2024, and will be undertaken in 3 different cities of Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, and California, Atlanta, Georgia. Now, the tour is also to underscore His Excellency P2B's commitment during the 2023 election to consistently engage the Nigerian in diaspora and interact with them constructively in the nation-building debate for the creation of a new Nigeria. So if you are within the United States and within this location, please do not fail to attend so that you can interact with His Excellency. Now let's get back to the discussion because there's so much we need to discuss with a short of a time. And we have a new Justice for Nigeria, as is known, Mr. Peter Aka. And of course, so many people know him as the Randy Peters. So he's joined us today to discuss the issues in Nigeria, especially what Nigerians are going through today, and the pronouncement by Chief Bola Tinubu on the sack of ministers, reappointment of others, and of course what is going on in Kano State. So let's start with him and then we get to the others. So you're welcome, Mr. Peter Aka.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I greet everybody listening and everybody in the house.
You are welcome to the Obidient Family TV. I guess this is the first time you are joining us. We believe that from today you will be joining us on a regular basis so that we can be interacting, because there's so much we need to discuss with Nigerians and of course your in-depth knowledge on the electoral matters that you have extensively discussed in different platforms so that we can do so. But let's start with what is happening in Nigeria today. You heard about Chief Bola Tinubu's sack of 6 ministers, appointment, including Bianca Ojukwu. Do you think, let me start with that question of whether you think that Bianca was consulted before she was given, she was brought in as a minister, because we know her as a slapping woman.
Well, and thank you very much. With all due respect, Mrs. Bianca Ojukwu is an accomplished woman in her own right. In fact, under the Jonathan administration, she has served as Nigeria's ambassador to, I think, Spain. And she's the wife, of course, to the former, Biafran leader, Chief Ojukwu. So she has whatever it takes to be a public office holder. But we would not even want to dwell so much in the appointment of the person as against, rather vis-a-vis the implication on the lives of Nigerians. If the government says we have a huge problem with the economy, there is economic crisis, we have an overbloated cabinet of more than 50 ministers, and the government says we are trying to downsize or maybe want to cut down the size of government, and we are sacking 6 and reappointing 7. So you know that by and large, the government is just trying to play to the gallery. This is just, you know, washing and setting, as it will be said in Nigerian parlance. If the Nigerian government is serious about solving problems, the body cannot be well when the head is sick. Once the president is serious about leadership, when he's serious about governance and he has a clear vision, he knows what to do. It is not about appointing or removing people. The major implication is you as the leader, as the head who claims to be the president, what is your vision and what direction are you towing to achieving that? If not, you can decide to sack 40 and reappoint 60, sack 60. It will make no difference, because the most important aspect of governance, which is the welfare of the people, is not being affected and is not taken into consideration. So Nigerians will just be wondering and asking the same questions you and I are asking. What does the appointment of Bianca Ojukwu has to do with the welfare of people? The other 6 persons, in fact, the other 40-something who are there, what have their impact been in the last 1 year? So when you ask that, the economic indices are there to speak for themselves.
Okay. I think that you are spot on. And again, let's look at it from the multidimensional poverty that is already happening in Nigeria, and of course, the state capture. Does the appointment of these 7 new ministers make any changes to the economic, or the, let's talk even about the fuel price that is the major thing, the removal of subsidy. Does it change the demands of the Nigerians about the hardship that they are undergoing?
The answer is glaring and is looking at all of us in the faces, because if you look at the cabinet that was reshuffled, or the ministers that were, the key ministries where Nigerians are feeling the pain are not even affected. Do not forget that currently, President Tinubu is the Nigeria's Minister for Petroleum. He took the line of Buhari, who for 8 years, even though he was a retired military general, decided to make himself Minister for Petroleum. President Tinubu is our serving Minister for Petroleum. So who is going to sack him for the crisis in the oil sector? The Minister for State Petroleum, Henikin Lokobiri, is still there. Gas Resources, Ekperikpe Ekpo, is still there. The Minister for Finance, Chief Wale Edu, is still there. The CBN governor is still there. So in fact, the economic advisory team is still there. So probably the president has so much confidence in them and believes that their economic policies are probably working. So he did not even go there. He rather went to Ministry of Women Affairs, Niger Delta, and sports and all of those. Those are actually secondary to what is affecting Nigerians today. So if you are asking of how this cabinet reshuffle translates into pump price coming down, I don't know what economic, analogy we are going to use to achieve that, because the key indices or the key sectors that are propelling the economy and also the petroleum sector we are still maintaining status quo, and it doesn't seem like there will be any shift in the near future.
Okay, thank you very much for that. There is also this reports coming out from Kano that I want to get your opinion on, and that has to deal with one elder statesman, Boba, who was interviewed at Arise TV, and he said that he had previously had gotten the judgment, or heard about the judgment that was transmitted yesterday about stopping the Kano state local government election, even before the order was given yesterday, that he has gotten it few days back. Let's take a listen to that so that let me get your reaction. Let's take a listen.
I want to say that it is not about this ruling of yesterday. The Kano Independent Electoral Commission had gone to court on the 24th of September and filed an ex parte motion, which they addressed the court. And the respondents were all the remaining 19 political parties, that either them or their agents should do anything to tamper with the preparations or the conduct of the local government elections in Kano. And Justice Sanusi Adomaji of Court 5 Kano gave an ex parte order stopping or preventing anybody, including the security agencies, from tampering or interfering in the conduct of the said election, and fixed a date or notice for all the parties to appear before him, which they appeared, and he's going to give a judgment tomorrow. Kano High Court. Justice Amebode or Amobade, as you know, is one of the most controversial judges in this country. You know his role during the Kano Emirship tussle. Himself and Justice, I don't know, what do you call him? One of the justices of the Kano High Court who has been promoted to the Court of Appeal. We know their role. This is our country, Nigeria. I'm saddened and feel like shedding tears. This judge was transferred out of Kano last month by the president, by the chief judge of the Federal High Court. And yet, APC bigwigs prevailed on the chief judge and returned the same man to Kano to do to do what they want. He is now again back to Kano, and this is his first controversial appearance.
Well, thank
Tope
you.
and Bolale, I want to tell you that just calm down, please. This is a very serious issue, please. Our country is going the drains. We may have to run helter-skelter very soon. During General Gowon's 90 days anniversary, on Sunday, at ECOWAS Secretariat, Banquet Hall, somebody unknown to me moved to me and told me that there is going to be a judgment on Tuesday on Kano local government elections. And it has already been decided that the judge will not only stop the election, but he will sack all the electoral, all the Kansek empire in Kano. I told him, how can he? He said, well, wait and see. I just dismissed it with a wave of hand. Unfortunately, I am now a foolish man. I could have listened to him and issued a statement on Monday over what had happened yesterday in Kano. And exactly as the man told me, that was what had happened. The details of the case before the judge was that the APC, which was stopped by a ruling of the Kano High Court, which has the exclusive jurisdiction on state laws, preventing any registered political party from interfering in the conduct of that election, has now been breached by the same judge as he did in the Kano Emirship tussle. Now, what was his ruling? What was before him? Stop the election, and they said members of the Kansek were card-carrying members of the NNPP. I challenged the judge, Justice Omobede, to come out and show the world where Professor Manumfashi, of any of his commissioners, is a registered member of NNPP, or that they went to INEC and they have a certified copy of the list of registered members of the NNPP where the names of the chairman and his commissioners are members of the NNPP. It was not before him. I challenged him, and that he relied on an affidavit which was denied by another affidavit that these people were wearing red cap. So anybody that wears red cap, including President Bola Tinubu, is a member of the NNPP. That's what the man is trying to say. This is absolutely hearsay. And it is not something that any sane individual will respect this judgment. Of course, we advised that the CANSEC should rush to the court today and file an appeal and file a stay of execution. I just hope they had done that. But even if they have not done that, if I were you, Bolale or Tope, will you follow the first order of the High Court, which has original jurisdiction over the state laws to conduct the election, or will you follow the Federal High Court, which is a political high court in Kano, just being used by the NNPP to destabilize the Kano state government? Which one would any Nigerian follow?
That is elder statesman Buba Galadima lamenting seriously on the happenings in Kano State. So I'm coming back to you, Mr. Peter Aka. You can hear from the lamentation of an elder statesman, somebody who obviously is pained on what is going on in Kano State. As you know, the same thing that is going on in Kano State seems to be the trajectory that is, that has moved from Rivers State now to Kano. Because why I say so is in Kano State, there are two now emirs, one for federal, one for state. And then in Rivers State, we have two sets of assemblies functioning. And I don't know whether they are making caricature of our democracy or the judiciary. What are your thoughts on this, especially as this man is saying there are serious implications out of what is going on in Kano State as of today?
Let me extend my sympathy to the NNPP in Kano State, and also our very dear elder statesman Buba Galadima. I want to just extend my condolence, my sympathy to them, because they are also the latest victims of Nigerian judicial calisthenics. I thank Chief Galadima because he has quite been consistent. He was in the APC, supported Buhari when he saw that Buhari wasn't doing well. He left and he has tried to fight, for a better cause. And today we are seeing what we are seeing. The problem with Nigeria is we will all have to come to the consensus and ask ourselves, is the Nigerian judiciary an arm of a democratic government, an independent arm of a democratic government, or has our judiciary become the legal arm of any party that is in power? That is what we are seeing. We saw in 2019 when the Supreme Court, a Chief Justice of Nigeria, was forced out of office by Buhari's government based on ex parte order. We have seen a lot of calisthenics as far back as when Oshomole was to be taken out of office as APC chairman, was sacked by Edo APC, went to Kanu to procure court order. So that is the situation we are. It is left for Nigerians to decide if we want to end this reign of impunity and dismantle this structure of criminality, because the judiciary as it is in Nigeria today is helpless in its own even rights. So the judiciary is no longer the last hope of the common man. I heard my daddy Buba Galadima talking. Today, Nigeria's judiciary is the last hope of the uncommon man. It is better we tell ourselves the truth and face the reality as it is. The judiciary is supposed to be an independent arm of a democratic government that is capable of dispensing justice for the states and not for statesmen. But for as long as we have this state's capture, where every other arm of government behaves as though they are subjugate to the executive arm, this is what we are going to continue to have. So we will deal with it until we are ready to reform our electoral process, get in people who have the capacity and competence to structure and build capacity in our Nigerian institution. If not, as bad as this Kanu own is, my dear brother, sir, it will not be the last. It will not be the end.
Okay, before I allow you to go, you advocate for the new Nigeria and, of course, justice for Nigeria. And you talk a lot about the electoral reforms that is needed. Do you think for this, before I let you go, I just want you to answer this for me, because so many people want to hear again from you. Do you think that Chief Bola Tinubu will allow electoral reform that will guarantee a direct transmission of results from the polling unit. Do you think that this present 10th assembly have the guts to do that?
You know, when I try to answer that question directly, because it comes up multiple times when people ask me, if you add the total number of Nigerian senators is about 109. In the National Assembly, they're about 200 to 300, plus Bola Tinubu, which is one entity. The problem with Nigeria is that we have not decided to put our focus where it is needed, and we have not gotten the courage to place a demand. It is not our duty to ask what Tinubu will do. It is the responsibility of citizens to put enough pressure on the government to do what they need to do, because Nigeria's project is bigger than any one person. If Nigeria goes down the drain, Tinubu will be on the next flight and jet out of the country to seek asylum anywhere where he has his interest. So if we continue to sit and be wishfully thinking of what politicians will do, nobody will give up power on a platter. Nobody gives up what is beneficial to them. But when we have suffered enough and we are determined and motivated enough, you will now prove to the people that the power of the people must be greater than the people in power, because the people in power must get their power from the people. Any other power gotten outside the people will become your own albatross. So once Nigerians are ready, we will make the statement that we are ready for a change, and we will get it done, because it is always possible to be done when the people are united to have that.
All right, thank you very much, Peters. Thank you so much for being with us. So let me quickly run to other people who are with us, and let me come back to studio so that I won't be forgetting Junior. You heard a lot from Mr. Randy, Peter, Aka, yes. And of course you've seen that we've talked about three things all together, but we still have other people who are waiting for us on the Zoom. What is your take, especially as you know that Bianca is in there? You think that he did that just to pacify the Igbo, or because of the Ojukwu stuff, or what's your thought on that?
No, it's not about Igbos, it's not about anything, but I think she has the quality. Bianca has the quality, just like Mr. Peter said, she has been ambassador to Spain and other countries. I think we need her on board. At least let's see if she can make a change. Okay,
I think you are talking as a woman. Okay, let me quickly run to our next guest, Mr. Basi. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Quickly, please. You've heard three topics. One, we're about the ministers that were sacked, 6 sacked, 7 appointed more. What are the implications? Nigerians have started to react. What is your reaction on that? And of course, I believe you would have heard Buba Galadima, who is lamenting on what is going on in Kano State. What is your take?
Thank you. Good evening. Thanks for having me. Good evening, the studio panelists and Zoom panelists. Good day, Obidient, and listeners across the world. I want to say that nothing excites me when it comes to the decision of this government, because they have proven time and time again that they lack the capacity to lead this country out of the wood. And reshuffling his cabinet is not going to bring any meaningful change to what Nigerians are going through. Like the earlier panelists had alluded to earlier on, the key sector of this economy is the finance, petroleum sector. And as long as you are still holding on to that sector, keeping it close, and then you don't want to appoint a substantial minister who can be held responsible or accountable for whatever he or she is doing in that ministry. It therefore means that you don't even intend, there's no plan to see the country out of this current predicament. So I don't expect anything meaningful to come out of this change. Like my earlier co-panelists alluded to earlier on, you are dropping 6 ministers and then you appoint 7. Does that make any economic sense? What you are simply saying is that you are not even cutting down on cost of governance as advised by World Bank. One would have expected that we are going to see a total trim down on the number of ministries in this government. But rather than trimming down, you are removing 2 ministers or 6 ministers and then bringing in 7. What implication is that? What are we trying to say? And then 2, what were the yardstick? What was the key performance KPI of the ministers that were removed? Nobody knew whether they actually performed or not. Yes, the Women Affairs Minister, as controversial as she was, but she was able to, make noise because this government believed in making noise. She was able to make noise in her own capacity, trying to show that she was working.
Yeah, Mr. Baki, I was asking the question.
Wherever issues, can you hear me?
Yeah, I was asking the question in context of the hardship, about the hardship that is happening in Nigeria currently. My question is whether the change of 6, the sack of 6, and then the appointment of 7, does that change anything that has to do with the economic hardship that Nigerians are facing currently?
Well, in going straight direct to the point, I don't see that changing anything. Like I said, I don't see it impacting on the life of Nigerians because what's the pedigree of these people you are bringing in? It's the same, political patronage, patronizing those people who has helped you during the political, the era of politicking and electioneering campaign. They are trying to just ensure that, okay, these people have come and eaten. Let's also allow the new set of people to come in so that it will go round. So this is not just a change that is going to impact positively on our economy and the well-being of Nigerians.
All right, thank you.
So I don't see anything meaningful happening in that regard. Then concerning the, okay.
The Kano, yeah, go ahead, Kano.
Yeah, concerning the Kanu, it's unfortunate that Nigerians have been sleeping until this nemesis will befall on us. That's when we'll now realize that we need to speak out. When this thing happened in Rivers State, the likes of Buba Galadima did not speak. Now that the thing has gotten to him, he's now speaking out. You see, these are some of the things that what goes around comes around. If you think that it does not concern you today, and so you keep your mouth mute, you keep quiet, someday when it gets to you and you begin to shout, then don't shout, don't talk about it. When this issue happened to Fubra in Rivers State, well-meaning Nigerians were not speaking. They didn't get themselves involved in it. But now it's going around. Who knows which is the next step, the next step that is going to stop at. I see whatever is happening in Kanu is just what has happened in Rivers State. It's just another script of wicked that is being replicated in Kano State. That is what is happening. Imagine few days to election. That is when all of this is happening. And it's a sad moment for our nation. It's also a sad moment for our judiciary that cannot stand up to their responsibility, to their call of duty. And they allow government agents, politicians, to use them to truncate this hard-fought democracy, because that is where we are heading to. With all of these things that are happening, we can see that someday the center will no longer hold and things will give way. So let us be careful And I also see that APC government at the center is trying to make Nigeria a one-party state with all of this happening. So I don't know how long they are going to sustain this, because I know that these things will not last forever. There will be a day that it's not going to be, nobody's going to announce. It's not going to come announce. There's not going to be a pre-information. It will just happen naturally, because the way that they are, the level of impunity, the level of rascality in the system is unbearable, and Nigerians will not take this any longer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay, then for Bianca, she has been in that. She's a diplomat. She has served as ambassador to Spain earlier on. But again, bringing her in, making her the Minister of State. We all know that Minister of State is just a spare tire. You are not giving her the responsibility to do her job. She will just going to be there at the pleasure of the full-fledged minister. So I really don't think she's going to bring any meaningful change to that ministry, because, you know, Festus Keyamo did said at the tail end or at the twilight of the Buhari government, complain about the role of the Minister of State, that they are just like spare tire, and they are not really doing anything. They just keep them there. It is what they ask you to do. That's what you do. You can't really use your initiative to see how you can bring positive change to your ministry. You have to go seek the approval of your senior minister before you can even do anything. So I don't see her doing anything much. Maybe it's just a way to pacify her, to pacify the Igbo ethnic group. Let it look as if okay, they are being remembered. So I don't really see anything positive that is going to happen in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pasty. Time running so fast today, but let's quickly take Mr. Christian Ochedu process all the way from Niger. Mr. Christian, if you're there, please can you give us your reaction to all of this happening? You've had all the discussion that is going on about the sack of 6 ministers and the appointment or the nomination of 7 more ministers. And of course, the conundrum in Kano State about the court sacking electoral chairman 2 days, 3 days to the local government election in Kano State. What is your take, Mr. Christian? Mr. Christian, are you there?
He's here, but
okay.
He's still muted.
Tony then, because our time is moving so fast. Is Mr. Tony there? Can you hear me? Okay, please let's take you. We still get back to Christian.
Yeah, I think thank you for having me. And active citizens, wherever you are, welcome to the show. I think the previous panelists have actually said it all. Appointing Bianca is not really going to make any change in what...
Is your sister, is that to make people more, you know, to look out for the APC or what? Or romancing you guys?
Well, what I'm saying is it's not really going to make any change in what Nigerians are going through, because the core economic sectors are not being affected. The people who are there are still there. And the new ministers are just peripheral I think, trying to reward some people so that they will be part of the cabinet. But essentially, those people who are implementing his policies are staying there. They've not changed course, and he's not giving them a new direction where they should go to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. So 15 years, like World Bank said, World Bank economist, we are going to be in this. Hopefully, when it's finished and gone, maybe a new person can come and then help Nigerians get out of this quagmire, this conundrum. But Chief Tinubu is not really doing anything to help the people of Nigeria. He's focused on getting that loan, 2.5 for around 2.8 in between $billion. And the funny thing is that he's going to be out of government before the payment starts rolling. So he's just getting that money to spend it, and you wash his hand and then leave office when the time comes. So we need a change. And until Nigerians figure out how to bring about that change, nothing will happen. We can talk all we want. We can be angry all we want. Unless we decide and channel our grievances, our anger towards a substantial how do I put it? Action.
Action. But Mr. Tony,
action.
let me interrupt you for a minute. You talk about we taking decisive action, and of course we see Randy Peters also spoke about Nigerian being docile and not taking action. But we know the people that can actually spontaneously take those actions and motivate the youth to actually do what they're doing, to what they are needed to do. They are not doing that. So what do you think that can motivate the youths or Nigerians from taking that action? Say, for example, the issue of Kano State we are talking about. We saw the elder statesman lamenting on a national TV about how their state is being hijacked from the federal side of it. How is it possible for us to even deal with these issues like you are explaining? How can we come about it? And we have just 2 minutes to the time.
Yes. Galadima has voiced his anger. What is required, like I said, is action. He can come out today and then proclaim that tomorrow or next tomorrow, I want everybody to come out on the streets. I will be there. Because if you're not there and just lamenting, everybody will sit down in their various homes. But if these people will come out and say, we are going to take back our country, we are going out on the street, I will lead the protest, I will lead the revolution, then people will follow. But if they sit at home and do nothing except talk when it's convenient for them, then nothing will happen. Because somebody has to organize these people, organize the youth, organize the market women. Somebody has to do that. Or some people have to do that, not just one person. So when they're ready to do something, they should come out and then carry the banner and people will follow them. That's simple. I mean, it's very simple. It doesn't require rocket science. The youth, when they want to do something, they get bribed. Some sections of the youth, and they counteract whatever decision has been made, and nothing happens. So, and these people in government, these people that have hijacked the state, they know the tricks. how to get Nigerians docile. You know, just give them rice, give them money, discourage them, do everything you can, monetize the people, monetize them, and they will sit down and counteract each other. We are not participating, we are not involved, and the rest of it. We've seen it. So until Nigerians are really, really ready and the leaders come out and say enough is enough, we will follow them. We will follow them. Because elections cannot remove these people. I'm telling you, just voting and then go back. They've whatever reform you come up with, they have a count. They have a way of rigging that election. Until we say we cannot be rigged again and do something about it. They're still going to be there. Look at what happened to in Edo State, according to Peter Side. He said IREV was suspended for some hours. And then the uploaded result sheets during this period were changed to favor APC. The IREV suspended technical hitch. The same thing we had last year. So whatever reform you bring about, these people have a way of undermining it. So Nigerians have to be mad. They really have to be mad and say enough is enough. Otherwise, it will change. I'm sorry about that.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Basi. Of course, Mr. Tony, thank you so much for being with us today. Our time is up. Let's quickly come back to the studio. Angel, you have just been there listening. You've heard what Randy Peters spoke about, Mr. Basi, and now Tony. Now, but, you know, the last thing that Mr. Tony is talking about, Nigerians being docile and not active, and that is the same thing that Mr. Peters talked about. Now, but looking at it from the perspective of what happened in Kano State and the actions that are going to take, recall that during the governorship election that they rejected the result that was brought out and they marched to the streets. So the Kano people does not carry last. So in other words, the Kano people, I think, are going to take a very serious...
They will take the bull by the horn.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they will not keep quiet because I know the northern people, they are not just like every other region. They always speak up. They always take action.
It's not just even speaking up. They like taking action.
Exactly. You know? So they always want to voice out of their dislike. Anything government does that they don't like, they will speak out, they will do. In fact, the protest always starts from them. Okay, last question. Do you think that that election is going to hold on Saturday? Exactly, it will hold. It will hold. Exactly. All right, thank you so much. We also have that belief that Kano State is going to do the right thing. They are not going to cower. They are going to do what Sim Fubara did in Rivers State. Thank you so much for watching today, and of course we believe that you like and share so that other Obedients will know that His Excellency Peter Obi is on his way, is touring the United States on another thank you to our Obedients in Diaspora. So whether you are in the United States or you can follow them online, please do. Starting from tomorrow is different cities. So that's why we'll keep bringing that up to you. So, Angel, what do you have to tell our viewers before we leave? Our time is up. Thank you so much, my lovely and intelligent Obedient worldwide. Come out in mass and support our own Peter Obi as he toured US in appreciation of what they did last year, in support of what they did, their help, their support, both financial and kind, anywhere. Just come out, support him. You know he's our own PO. We know they carry last. My fellow Obedients and my fellow Nigerians, let's put pressure on these our leaders so that they will do the needful. We need to put pressure on them to do the work, not just to amass wealth, not just to squander wealth. They will borrow and squander without doing anything, and the masses are dying every day. Thank you so much, Mr. Peter. Thank you so much, Mr. Tony and Mr. Bassi. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Like, share, and subscribe. Let other Obedience know what's going on. That Chief Bola Tinubu sacked 6 and employed 7. I've been nominated 7. Anyway, we are just looking. We need to put pressure on them for them to do the work, not just to borrow money and borrow and borrow and borrow. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you, but God loves you more. Bye for now.